We're now in the main street of Kiandra, looking up here to my right. You can see the ski course where my father has a record for the fastest downhill skiing. He was an Olympic representative, but he didn't go to England, to Norway, because his father had died and he had to look after his family. And in those days you had to pay your own way. Yeah, well, this is a piece of gold that my father found here in Kiandra about 50 years ago. Alluvial gold. Up here to your right, this is one of the gold mines that used to be here, and just on the level just here, you'll see is where they used to have the tennis court. Used to play a lot of tennis. Just on the edge there, you'll see there's remnants of an old house. Bobby Hughes that used to live here, one of the old timers, he used to live there. And we go along here a bit further, this side, those trees, you'll see where the dance hall used to be. We used to have quite a lot of dances and get-togethers in that hall. A stable used to be in there, and then that was Bell's Hotel that was burnt down, and I believe there was a disabled lady burnt to death in there. Then we go along, we find Patterson's store. It was there for many years. They had a butcher shop on the other end, and he sold groceries, and he had a sweets shop on this side. This belonged to old dray, used to be used to cart the wood from up the hill. So everyone would have plenty of wood for the winter months. It belonged to my great uncle, and it's a bit dilapidated at the moment, but it was used, I suppose, up until 1950. It's been lying here ever since. It was my grandfather's brother, Frank Yan, who was killed in Lobbs Hole. They used to use the drays to take their supplies down to Lobbs Hole in the winter time when they'd migrate down there. I think it was 1943 was the last trip they had down there, and on the way out they went out through the creek, or the river actually it was, in Lobbs Hole, and they went up the bank. The horses must have went over a little bit too far, and they went up the bank, and the dray capsized and killed my uncle there, and he was there all day and all night before one of his nephews found him. That was about 1943, if I remember rightly. The dray there nowadays is leaning against an old elderberry tree. It looks pretty dilapidated at the moment, but anyhow, they were good days. There was no industry here after the gold rush went, and people used to live here. They would look after the people used to have snow leases for the stock, and the townspeople here, a lot of them would look after them during the summer months before the people took them back to where they lived.